sharing these details, and also I'll request my guests to be there with me live on the broadcast, as US Vice President JD Vance has responded to PM Modi's tweet after a meeting with him in Paris. He also stated that Prime Minister Narendra Modi was gracious and kind, and his kids really enjoyed the gifts. He's grateful to him for the wonderful conversation. This is what, in fact, the US Vice President JD Vance has written, while mentioning also that the time spent was heartening, which in fact we can see in visuals. Mr. Dwivedi, at this point of time, in fact, gracious and kind are the adjectives that have been used by the Vice President, also while describing the kind of warmth that we can look at even in the pictures between the two world leaders. How deep do you think this strategic partnership could also be beneficial for both the nations, given there are investments into a lot of sectors, and there are business leaders, there are industry leaders that are going forward with the plans to escalate, in fact, the kind of manufacturing and the kind of business expansion is concerned in both the countries. There are many areas which are still unexplored as far as that part of in fact investment and business is talked about. But how far do you think this can also make a direct impact into the minds of the industry leaders and the people, and even in the collaborators who are there to boost this bilateral tie and give it, in fact, a give push?
I personally feel that as Prime Minister Narendra Modi has stressed and emphasized upon this particular theme of skilling and reskilling, and how the sustainability of artificial intelligence can be matched with the training and retraining of the executive of the class, and how a better synergy can be achieved between established industry and especially the startups. If we go back slightly into the past, how Prime Minister Modi enthralled the audience in the Madison Square Garden speech in 2016, and coming directly to her question, I would just contend that the Shark Tank's Houston's visit by Narendra Modi was the precursor element as far as the entire gamut of economic and the trade relationships remaking between India and US is concerned. Apart from this, Trump shares a very personal and charismatic bonhomie and a personal chemistry with the Indian Prime Minister, which has been evident in the several meetings, especially in the Trump 1.0, when both the heads of states met a few times. So that really enables India and US to iron out their trade and commercial differences. And as I was talking about these particular issues, in the field of nuclear disarmament, the civil nuclear liability bill has been a major stickler or a fly in the ointment, which will be ironed out if we go by the words of our honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Apart from this, nobody wants a trade war at this particular point of time, and India has to do the very great navigating act between being a leader of the global south and between being part of a special relationship that the Americans are calling it between India and United States of America, where we have to have a good relationship, a positivity ingrained, smattered relationship with US, while also looking into our own interests. But I personally feel that deportation, the issue of deportation has been raked up very significantly between India and US, both in India and America. And for an instance, Jaishankar Sahab and Narendra Modi ji will also, Narendra Modi ji will also discuss about the deportation issue, which has not caused much of a bad blood in the relationship between both the democracies of the world. And it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his telephonic talk and in his parliamentary statement, Jaishankar Sahab also said that we are completely cooperating and collaborating, and we understand the American national security concerns, wherein Indians were deported in a plane in a Hercules American aircraft to Amritsar. Now, what we need to understand, what Modi ji is trying to convey to the entire world and the Indian domestic cabal is that India and US have to be very clinical. They have to be very objective, and the illegal immigrants, if they are found to be Indian citizens, have to be deported back. And it is not only Trump, but people like Biden and Obama and earlier presidents too have deported Indians.